First man to walk on the moon. That'd be something.
Well, director Damien Chazelle has proven himself a guy who can do just about anything, it looks like, following on the heels of his Oscar-winning movies Whiplash and La La Land. He has gone in a decidedly different direction with his new film First Man, which tells the story of America's effort to land a man on the moon in the 60s. It all started with President John F. Kennedy in 1961 laying down the mission that by the end of the decade, a man would hit the moon, and that man was Neil Armstrong, the first to touch ground on the actual surface of the moon with his famous statement, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind."
We've chosen a job so difficult, requiring so many technological developments. We're going to have to start from scratch.
It is about Neil Armstrong, a very dedicated, patriotic American, one very low-key person just trying to get the job done. And we see the complications of all of this in this movie as it goes along. There's a lot of politics involved. Failed earlier attempts, including the death of 3 astronauts in a fire before a rocket even took off from the ground, is explained here too. But all of it is the mission in the central mind here of Neil Armstrong, played beautifully and understatedly by Ryan Gosling, here reuniting with Damien Chazelle after their big success in La La Land, and I think this one will be just as big a success in its own way. Gosling reminded me of great actors like a Gary Cooper, who didn't do much outward expression, but really takes you inside this man and what he's thinking. When this movie premiered on the Fall Festival circuit in Venice, Telluride, and Toronto, I heard some people saying, I really liked it, I appreciated what it was, but it wasn't emotional. Well, I found it really emotional by not laying it on there and not just putting it all on your shoulders here. There's one scene here, a dinner table scene, where Armstrong's wife, Janet, played beautifully here as well by Claire Foy, insists that he talk to his 2 kids and tell them that he may not come back from this moonshot, that there is that possibility. This is an incredibly emotional scene, but underplayed so beautifully here that it has much more effect that way. I thought that throughout. Now, he's not the only one here on this mission. Obviously, there are his fellow astronauts, and they're beautifully played as well. Jason Clarke plays Ed White. Corey Stoll plays Buzz Aldrin. Buzz Aldrin's a very different kind of personality than Armstrong was. Kyle Chandler, Sharon Hines, they are effective here as NASA officials.
I don't know what space exploration will uncover, but I don't think it'll be exploration just for the sake of exploration. I think it'll be more the fact that it allows us to see things that maybe we should have seen a long time ago, but just haven't been able to until now.
This movie has great technical efficiency, as you might expect. Terrific cinematography from the Oscar-winning La La Land cinematographer Linus Sandgren. Sharp editing by Tom Cross. And an absolutely magnificent score by the Oscar-winning composer of La La Land, Justin Hurwitz. Boy, does he get this right. Echoing the great scores of this kind of movie, but doing its own thing. It soars just as high as Apollo 11 does in this movie. I was really impressed with the complexity, with Josh Singer's script, which is based on the James Hansen book about Armstrong, and everything that went into this. We've seen a lot of movies about space shots, a lot of things from The Right Stuff to Apollo 13 and on and on. This one has its own style and own beat, and it's very impressive work from Damien Chazelle and everyone involved in this. First Man is first rate, and I say go.